What's up, guys? Hope you're having an amazing day. Welcome back to the channel. Today's video, as usual, is brought to you by KBANA Magazine. I just want to talk about a walk that I did. I brought with me my Fuji GSW690 and my Leica R8. So technically, my Leica R8 had an elder brother, the Texas Leica, with me, and last Saturday, I just wanted to go out and do some street portraits, as well as any photo that or anything that I see that is interesting. I was supposed to do a shoot, and that shoot got canceled. So I was still kind of in the mindset of going out and creating some portraits, some photos. And I was inspired to shoot some portrait on the Fuji GSW690, some environmental portrait. So I brought with me 2 rolls of film, HP5 120 for the 690, and then Kodak Color Plus with the R8. And actually, I was really blown away the results that I got on the R8. I mean, I've taken some photos with it before. I've shot some portrait with it before, but this time I felt like everything went well. I felt like I was doing everything right. I was coming across the right subjects and photographing the right people under the right circumstances. So that is what I wanted to share with you guys today. I do not have any BTS of me out there shooting these photos, but I'm just going to open the photos and, as you watch it, talk about what I saw, what interested me at the scene, why I approached the people that I photographed, and yeah, we'll talk about it that way. So as soon as I walk out of the house, the first photo that I took is this photo of this motorcycle, and I just thought it's a warm-up photo. And most of the time people park like their cars along there, but I've never seen anybody park like a motorcycle over there, and I thought it was cool. So yeah, I took a photo. I took first horizontal, and I wanted to see it in the vertical as well, so I ended up taking the vertical. And I kind of like both, but I do like the horizontal even more because it shows you more of the environment and more around it. The next photo is this building here. I photographed in the past before, but this time the clouds on top of it was very, very nice, and I wanted to capture it again. It's always nice to keep going back to the same locations to photograph it as many as you can, because you never know, the lighting and the clouds and everything that is around it, how it's going to look. So I really like this one. I love the symmetry. Again, how the brick building kind of stands alone among all the other buildings on the road. I took 2 shots. I think this is the first shot that I took. But I wanted to put the brick building right in the center, and so I took another shot, and I do prefer the one with it right in the center. Let me know which one do you prefer, but yeah, I do like the one where the brick building is right in the center. So right after the brick building, as I was walking, actually, as I was taking that brick building, this gentleman here walked past me, and as soon as I was done taking the photo, I was walking behind him, and I just thought maybe he could be my first subject for portraits. And if you haven't, or if you don't do street portrait that often, sometimes it can be intimidating. So sometimes you have to warm up. So I had to like kind of psych myself to like stop him to photograph him, because it looked like he was, taking a walk, just enjoying the beautiful day. And sometimes it feels like you are interrupting people's peace. So I ended up, walking faster and saying hello, talking to him and asking if I could take his photo. Now, guess what? He is a photographer himself. And so it kind of opened up that conversation and made it very easy to start talking. And obviously, once, they should film and you should film, it's going to be the conversation that you have. So I decided to take first on the GSW, and then as soon as I was done, I wanted to get some close up. The mindset was I got an environmental portrait, a wide shot of them on the black and white, and then I'll go closer and use the R8 to take some close-up portraits of the people. So that's what I did, even though I ended up still taking a little bit of wide shots of him, because I just loved how the clouds were, and I wanted to have that on color as well. So I took 3 shots of him, and this is the last one that I photographed close up of him. And as you can tell, the sun was like kind of directly in his eyes. For some reason, he wanted to look away. Most of the time when I'm photographing people, I want to be right in their face and close up. You'll see some of it in the video, but I wanted to get closer in his face and take close-up portrait, but he wanted to look away. And so sometimes I don't force people to get, photo out of them if they are not up for it. So I told him, yeah, let's do that. And so I got this shot. It's not really my favorite, but it's a nice photo that I took. And like I said, I really, really enjoyed the first portrait that I took. So it kind of warmed me up for the rest of the day. And then as I was walking, I came across, I've photographed this church before, but mostly I go in and photograph the door area and the close-up. But this time I wanted to stay back and kind of photograph it, put in the light pole to the left just to kind of give it a little bit of symmetry, and then having the crosswalk in the bottom corner of the frame, I thought looked really good and really interesting. And again, the clouds, the sky was looking really great. So I really liked it. So I took that shot, and then right as I started walking, this lady was taking a walk with the dog, and I almost stopped her to ask her for portrait. But again, whenever you see somebody, the first instinct is, what mood are they in? That's like the first thing that I kind of look at. And it looked like she just wanted to have a quiet time, just kind of like, take the stroll. And they were going in the same direction that I was going. Initially, they walked past me, and then the dog had to do his thing. So I walked past them, and then they came back and walked past me. And I almost stopped her, like I said, but I decided to not stop her and just photograph her as they were taking, because I was feeling that, calmness in them taking the stroll, and wanted to capture that. So I ended up taking 2 shots, one as they were walking a little further, and then when they really went further. So I do like the second one, which they were a little bit smaller in the frame, even though I wish the dog was still walking in a straight line and not going to check whatever it is that they were checking over there. But I do like the second frame, showing the sign that is pointing the arrow towards the center, and then the building canopy on the left side of the frame with them in the middle, and the trees lining up. So I really, really enjoyed that. The next photo, this building, I've walked past it so many times, and every single time I walk past it, I want to photograph it, but it hasn't always been the best scenario. Most of the time there is cars parked in front of it, and I don't want to take a photo when, especially if it's like the main subject is a building and there's a car parked in front of it. But this day I was lucky, there was no car. Actually, there was a car, but as soon as I stood around to take the photo, the car moved. And so I took the first shot, and I thought, I don't know how I felt about it. So I stood back a little bit. There was a fence behind me with a door, and to get the shot that I wanted to get, I had to be inside. And I didn't want to either, the fence is very short, but I didn't want to climb over it, or just I don't want to trespass. But I looked at the door, and it was open. So I went back a little bit, and I pushed it, and it was, open. So I opened it, went in a little bit, and got this wide shot, which I really, really like, because, again, the building is interesting, but the light on the right side with the post office things on the bottom there kind of really looked nice. I wish the tree wasn't there, or even if it was, I wish I could go even further to have some of the branches at the top coming in, but I didn't have much space because if I go any further, there is a wall right next to me and the wall is going to show, which will be cutting off the tree. So I kind of worked with what I had. This is why I'm trying to find a 28 millimeter lens for my R8. And I was shooting 50. I don't have the 50 one here, but I was shooting 50 millimeter lens. So I was very limited. I didn't have my 35 to 70. So I was very limited to focal length as where I can be and all that. So in the next image, it's just right on the same block, just a little further down. I wanted to also take like straight on, but I just figured to give it a different perspective and see how that looks, because again, I've seen this video so many times, I've walked past it so many times, but today I wanted to take it from the side, just a little perspective, give it some depth, and I really like it. I wish there was like a subject or somebody or something crossing or walking on the side, but I didn't get that. But now that I've had that vision and I've taken this photo, anytime I'm going that direction, I'm going to be paying attention and make sure I'm ready to take the photo if I see somebody walking along the road or something like that. I don't want this video to be too long, so I'm going to move faster a little bit. This church building, I've done so many shoots around it. I've photographed it a few times, several times. And then this day, the light was what caught my attention. But the light was interesting. The staircase is interesting. But if the lamp post wasn't there, I don't think I would have taken it because it was kind of boring. But initially I was a little closer, but I stepped back just to include that lamp post, and then take the photo. As you can see, there's a lot of symmetry in there. And again, the light was what caught my eye, and it's very interesting. So the next photo, I think this is my least favorite, but I kept seeing people walking behind the trees over there, and if you can see on the bottom left close to the center, there is somebody framed with the branches of the trees, and I was kind of trying to do something like that, even though I wasn't happy with the composition and the foreground. It kind of looked boring, and the sky, it just like, it feels like there's too much going on. I can't really figure it out. Like, I like that the person was framed right there with the branches, but the entire photo kind of looked chaotic. Like, it looks like it doesn't have any like, I don't like the composition. I'm not a huge fan of it. But right after I took this shot, I walked over to take this photo, which led me to my next portrait. I really like this photo. I wanted to have somebody walking, but by the time I set up, did the light reading and all that, the people that were crossing were already gone. But I saw a few people on the scooters coming along, and I thought, okay, if I'm not gonna get a person, let me at least get somebody on the scooter. So that was the last person, I think. And then I got it real quick where I wanted them to be, and I really like this photo. But right after I took the shot, there was a guy standing behind me. He had just gotten out of his car, and he said something, but I didn't hear what he said. So I went closer to him to ask him what he said, but he thought I was coming to photograph him, so he started posing for me. So I asked him if he wanted a photo. Unfortunately, he couldn't speak English. I don't even remember the language he spoke, but we had a whole conversation without speaking any English. But he wanted the photo to be in front of the Ohio Theater, which that is exactly where I would have put him. And so, yeah, I asked him to stand there. Didn't tell him anything else to do. He just stood there looking at me. I took the photo, and then he was walking away, but I called him back and said I wanted to take more. And so I put him in the opposite direction to get more light. And this photo right here just kind of made me fall in love with the R8 and the 50 Summicron f2 lens. I took this photo at f2, and I nailed the focus, and the image looks so good. Like, it looked like I took it on a digital camera. And then also the Color Plus. Obviously, it's my new favorite film to shoot. It looks really, really amazing. So yeah, this is one of my top 5 portrait that I took that day. Really, really love it. I love the composition. I love the expression on his face, and it just came out beautiful. So the next shot, the light was what caught my eye. As I was walking past these stores, I thought the light was interesting. So I took 2 shots. First one, I tried to be creative, just get it in the frame in a frame. But I just wasn't really digging it. I wasn't really liking it. So I went in closer, and then I got this shot. And I think this one is my favorite out of the 2 photos that I took. And then right where I took the photo, I turned around, and this is the bus stop. Now in this photo, I love where everybody is placed. I really, really like it. I wish I had the 33 all in frame over here in the corner. However, I wish there was some sunlight kind of cutting through or bouncing somewhere, similar to a photo that I took some time back ago. But it's flat, and so there isn't much like dynamic in the image. There isn't much depth to the photo. It's very, very flat. So any dramatic light would have made this photo a really, really great photo. But still, it's one of my favorite. Like I said, I love where everybody is standing, and yeah, I loved it. So moving on, a classic, looking up, taking photo. I felt like at some point I started seeing the rhythm of what I was photographing, and I thought maybe I might not be able to finish the entire roll, because I wanted to finish the entire roll and develop it when I get home and not have to wait. So again, I love the light that was like, kissing this building on this building. And so yeah, I took a shot. Nothing really interesting here, just building, light hits in the building. The next photo, I saw this lady sitting there, and I was going to take the photo of just her sitting there at the bus stop, but I saw the gentleman on the right walking towards in my frame, and so I waited for him to. Initially, I was going to take the photo when he had just passed the lamppost, but then it's just like a split second. I'm like, no, let me wait till he gets on the other side of it. And of course, you want that split leg. So I got that. Again, the light is a little bit boring, but I do like the scene and what's going on and the people in it. This next photo isn't anything great. I love the light. I love the green building, the colors. I thought it looked interesting, and also I feel like I'm obsessed with cranes. So seeing that crane in the background coming in, it was very, very interesting. So yeah, that's why it made me took it, and the light is very nice. So moving on, I walked closer to the park, and as I was getting into the park, I saw this lady coming with her dog, and as you can see, maybe the image might not see, but there's the trees lined up, and it has the branches coming in the middle, creating like some sort of an arch on the pathway, which I thought was very interesting. So I waited for them to get it right in the middle, and I took the shot. I wish there was some light, like either right behind them or in front of them or on them, to make them stand out even more. But it is what it is. I still like it. So after the park, I went to grab something to eat, And then as I was leaving the restaurant, I saw this gentleman sitting, having a smoke. And I thought he looked, cool with his tattoos and all that. So I approached him and asked if I could take his photo. And surprisingly, everybody that I stopped that day to take portraits of them, was kind of happy that I did ask to take photo of them, and they were thanking me, for taking photo of them. But I'm like, thank you. So yeah, I took the first photo on the GSW, and then again I came in closer with the R8 and got some shots, close up and all that. And I really really like this one specifically with him holding the metal piece and smoking. And then when I went in closer, he gave me a smile, and I really like it. I do like the expression on his face and just the joy that he was giving me for asking to take his portrait. Also, one of my favorite of the day. So yes, another one. And then moving on, this guy, I almost didn't take the portrait because he was sitting across from me. It's one of those photos that you see and it's like, do you want to go and take the photo or not? Because you've already walked past it, and I felt like he had already seen me. So I decided, no, I would rather go and take the photo than to get home and wish I did. So I went, I talked to him. I asked if I could take his portrait, and obviously he said yes. So the first shot that I took was actually on the R8, this close-up photo of him. I really, really love it. Really look great. Again, the f2, it just delivered. And so right after that, I got this of him standing up, smoking. I got one more when he was, putting the, weed in his mouth. And then took another one, and that was when I asked if I could take another one on the black and white, and I got a wider shot of him standing at a bus stop. And then right after, as I walked past him, this girl was also sitting there right by the bus stop. So I went and asked her if I could take her photo. And funny, she asked if I was one of those TikTok street photographers, which kind of, I don't know, I felt weird because I'm not, that is not what I was doing, but it's just weird that somebody will, she said, I've seen those TikTok photographers. And I was like, no, I'm not a TikTok photographer. I'm just, photographing and documenting people on the street. So yeah, I took the first shot on the GSW690 black and white, and then I asked if I could come closer and take more. So I took two shots on the R8, a very close one and a little bit kind of mid one. And man, look at that bokeh behind him. This is the first time I have seen the actual like bokeh in on this camera, and the lens looks really really beautiful. The lighting was a little flat, but I do kind of like that the light was hitting the background, so it kind of separates it and make it stand out. And yeah, I really really like this one as well. So in the next shot, as I was walking this time, so I have walked all the way downtown Columbus, going to the short note, and I'm kind of making my way back home. I saw this light, and I thought, I stood there for quite some time because I wanted somebody to walk in the frame for me to get the photo. And luckily, somebody came in, and I took the shot, and I really, really like it. I couldn't ask for anything else. So yeah, it actually is the same location I took the photo of the building at the top. That was on my way, and then I took this photo on my way back. So the next photo, this van has been here for quite some time now, and every single time I walk past it, I feel like based on what the lighting look like and the direction that I'm walking, I get a different photo of it this time. From this side, I wish the light that is on the wall was maybe on the van or something like that. It would have made it really cool, but I kind of still like it. It kind of reminded me of when kids are asked to go stand against the wall when they are misbehaving. It feels like somebody told the van to go like put their face to the wall. It's kind of funny to me, so that's what made me take the photo. Actually, I saw this kid riding his skateboard, and as soon as I saw him where I was, I remember I took a photo of a guy. This is long time ago, probably like 2018 or 2019, on a skateboard, actually in the same location. So I remembered that, and so that made me stop him and ask if I could take his portrait. And he was again very, very happy that I stopped to take his portrait. So I took a wider one, and that photo or this photo, on the black and white, is my favorite photo of the day. It just, the way he was standing on the skateboard, the posture, the angle, it just looked really, really good, and I really, really enjoyed it. Really love it. My favorite photo of the day. And then obviously I went in and took some photo with the R8. So on the R8, that is it. That was my last shot, and as you can see, 37 photos. Every single frame, you've seen it. Luckily, yeah, the because of the fast loading of the R8, I get 37 shots instead of 36 every single time. So as you can see, from frame 1 to frame 37, every single frame was amazing. I really, really like them all. So you've seen them all. So I was done with the roll. Like I said, I didn't have any extra roll. I went specifically to shoot just one roll each. And as you can see, with the GSW690, you get only 8 shot. And so the next shot that I took was this guy, actually, him and his friend or partner or boyfriend. They were parking their bicycle, about to go in a restaurant, and I asked if we kind of like locked eye and nodded, and then I think he said something about my camera. So then I asked if I could take his portrait. Initially I thought the friend or the partner was going to be interested as well, but he was busy trying to lock their bicycle. So I just asked if I could take a portrait of just him, put him in front of this mirror here, and kind of wanted some depth. Initially I thought I was going to take the photo against the wall, but I positioned him this direction so I can have some depth to the photo. And even though, again, the lighting wasn't that interesting, but I did really, really like it. I would say this is like my second favorite of the day. And then I wish I had some shots left on the R8 because he looked very interesting, and it would have been really nice if I got closer to him and get some close-up photos of him. But unfortunately I did not. So and so moving on, the last photo, I thought I was not going to find anybody to photograph. I was almost like getting close to home, and as soon as I walked, I knew, like you get to a certain point and there's never, or there's not going to be any subject, or no, I feel like at this point I'm not going to be able to have any photo to take. Just as I was thinking that, I saw this girl walking towards me, and then right when she got where I asked if I could take her photo, and she was the most excited person that I asked to take the photo of the day. She was very, very happy that I asked to take a photo. She said something like, "Oh, really? You want to take a photo of me?" And I'm like, "Yeah." But the light was getting really dark. I was losing light, and I wanted to shoot wide open, but she was kind of in the shade. So I also knew with darker skin, especially when you are in the shade, sometimes on film, black and white, it will be hard to see, especially if you don't expose for their face or if you don't expose them well. So I ended up putting on my flash, and I'm so glad that I thought about it to do, because that was the last shot that I had. And it really, really helped bring out the details in her shirt and in her face, separating her face from her hair. Like I said, when you're shooting darker skin on black and white, sometimes you might just miss some details, especially if it's this far away. So that was the last photo of the day, and I was really happy. I couldn't wait to get home to develop these films. And as soon as I pulled the rolls from the spool, I was very, very happy. So that's it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if this is something you guys will be interested to see more, because sometimes I go out and I take some photos with no intention of making a video, and sometimes I don't, and because I don't have any intention of making a video. But if you guys are interested in stuff like this, anytime I go out to shoot a roll or something, I could just talk about it and tell you what was interesting in the image and all that. So I appreciate you watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. We're getting close to 2K subscribers. I really, really appreciate the support, the love. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. But until then, bye-bye.